I know that we have so many, reactions coming in tonight, folks who want to comment on the situation. I want to bring Nick back in because I know that you have reached out to many of your contacts from the racing world and in broadcasting, and I know that you are bringing in someone else to give us some more insight to tonight right now.
Yeah, let's just ask producer James, are we good to go with that yet? Okay, so obviously all on short notice, we're lining up guests to discuss the legacy and unbelievable and tragic passing of Kyle Busch. So we do want to bring in from PRN Live, Nick Yeoman now. Nick, can you hear me?
I can. Yeah, Nick. I can hear you.
Now too. Okay, Nick Yeoman from PRN Live. Thank you for joining us on short notice and after tragic news that I think we're all still starting to process. I think that's my first question. How do we process this? Have we yet? When could we possibly process this news?
No, I don't think this is the kind of thing that you do, to be quite honest with you. It is stunning. It is shocking. The fact that Kyle Busch was in victory lane 6 days ago in Dover, Delaware, after winning a NASCAR Truck Series race. It's one of the most shocking things I've ever seen.
I guess, when you first think of Kyle Busch, the race car driver, what do you think? What will you always think?
Yeah, it's a detailed book with a lot of chapters, right? Because there is Kyle on the track, which I don't know if this sport has seen a guy that is as naturally gifted as Kyle Busch was. It didn't matter the type of track. It didn't matter any of the 3 National Touring Series. That guy could do some just remarkable things behind the wheel of a race car. And then you dig a little deeper, and the personality was that of an absolute rebel. Some fans gravitated towards that. Most didn't. But to see that all kind of come full circle towards the end of his career and the fans really embrace Kyle and root for him, it's just he's a very detailed guy that people are going to be analyzing and talking about for many, many years. He made that type of impact on this sport.
As polarizing as he, could sometimes be, and I know that he would admit that and leaned into that sometimes. What are you seeing from the racing community in the hours since his passing?
Yeah, it's obviously an outpouring of support for his family. His wife Samantha and their kids. So it's obviously a lot of that, but you're also seeing a lot of drivers saying exactly how they felt and how much they admired and respected that guy. 234 wins across NASCAR's top 3 series. So it's a lot of respect being shown, but I think right now it's also fresh that I think this entire sport and industry is stunned by this.
Nick, we're a day away from racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway. How does this weekend move on? Does it?
Especially with, there was already a planned stoppage at the halfway point, the tradition of on Memorial Day weekend of, recognizing the men and women that have laid down their life in battle to preserve our freedom. So it was already an emotionally charged weekend. Obviously with big races in Charlotte and in Indianapolis. It's going to be the elephant in the room, and it's going to take a lot for, I think, people within this industry to find enjoyment in what is supposed to be, one of the biggest racing weekends of the year with the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600. So I think there are going to be a lot of people wandering around the garage in Charlotte just continuing to be stunned all weekend.
I think in a lot of sports, Nick, maybe there wouldn't be a game or a contest. NASCAR is different. We saw how NASCAR responded after Dale Earnhardt's tragic death on the track in 2001. They raced The Rock the next week. I anticipate that happening, and it sounds like you do too.
100%. Yeah, and for no other reason than all 3 series are in action at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Kyle Busch is a guy who is known for being spectacular in all 3 of those divisions. So I can't think of a better way to honor Kyle Busch, and I understand in society today, some people aren't going to be able to wrap their heads around that and find that insensitive. But those within the industry, those that understand motorsports, and most importantly, those that knew Kyle Busch will 100% agree that they're going to race.
Nick Yeoman with us from PRN Live, also with IndyCar Radio. I'm familiar with the Indy 500 up there. Kyle Busch's brother, Kurt, he was a double attempt driver. What do you think? There, I would assume, be some reaction to this there as well.
Yeah, I mean, all the drivers in Indianapolis are stunned. I know the IndyCar Series has released a statement. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway and their president, Doug Bowles, have been vocal. I know there's a lot of differences in all levels of motorsports, but ultimately it's all the same, and it is a brotherhood amongst the drivers. So, there are people stunned in Indianapolis and in my surrounding area, just like there are there in the Charlotte area.
Nick Yeoman from PRN Live, appreciate your time on short notice, giving perspective to the unbelievably tragic and sudden death of Kyle Busch at the age of 41. Nick, thank you for joining us.